Oh my goodness, it happened again, didn't it? It happened again. You lost to another pusher. Are you kidding me? Well, if you are losing the pushers and you are sick and tired of it, like I'm sick and tired of it as your coach, then watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you the blueprint the next time you're out there playing a pusher, how you are going to win this match. So you don't have to hold your head in shame. If you're ready, let's go. Let's get started. So if you're serious about finally beating pushers, players that you're losing to that you're ashamed of, the first thing I need you to do is I need your full attention. Okay, so stop having open the multiple screens. You probably got your iPad on your lap, your phone right there, the tennis channel's on. Stop it, okay? Focus for just a second, please, okay? So just turn off everything that's a distraction and listen to me. Let's make some notes. The number one thing you need to do, write this down, because I'm sure this is probably what you're doing because I've heard it a million times. I've been coaching a long time, is you need to check your ego at the door the next time you play a pusher. Has this ever sounded like you? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm losing them. They stink. They didn't play real tennis. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I am terrible. This is a joke. This match should be over. If I've got to play like this, I don't even want to play tennis. Stop it. You're not Roger Federer. How do I know you're not Roger Federer? Because trust me, Roger Federer is not looking up this video, how to beat pushers, okay? Plus, he's retired anyway, so he doesn't even need to think about that. But you're not Roger Federer. So just stop that. Get rid of the ego. That's number one. I'll be back with number two. Number two, we need to start completely reevaluating our strategy, okay? And I want you to write this down. This is huge. I haven't heard many people talk about this, but it's absolutely true, especially when we're talking about recreational tennis, okay? This is recreational tennis, whether you like it or not. Hitters win matches, okay? Pushers win matches. They win a lot of matches, trust me. The pusher you lost to, you're not the first person that's happened to, okay? They've beaten a lot of people. And here we go. Tweeners lose matches. Hitters win, pushers win, tweeners lose. So what's a hitter? A hitter is somebody who comes on out and they've got really awesome strokes, really high confidence. They play with a lot of great margin, right? Have you ever heard Paul Annacone talk about, hitting aggressive shots to big targets? Like they're able to do that. So most likely those players who are hitters, okay, there's very few all-out hitters who could just hit the ball from beginning to end playing recreational tennis. Those are your 4-5, 5-0 plus players who are not going to play too many quote-unquote pushers. They might run up against them once in a while, and they probably wouldn't be the type of person that you would think of as a pusher. You're just going to go, wow, they're pretty consistent. I'm talking about a pusher who's a dinker, who just like has no strokes, and yet you're losing to them, right? Someone who's going to be able to step on the court. If you're playing the pusher, you're playing them for a reason. You guys or ladies are rated the same exact level. So there's something about both of you that is at the same level, whether you want to admit it or not. And the idea that you can come out here and just hit your way through the match and hit winners all day, which is probably what you're thinking because your strokes probably do look nicer. The chances of you doing that for 2 out of 3 sets are very, very low, and you're playing into the pusher's hands. Most pushers are great at what? What's their secret weapon? What's their superhero skill if they have one? They're usually good at absorbing pace and getting the ball back. The best at this that I've ever seen online is MEP, the most exhausting player. And you see he just drives people crazy because they'll hit the ball hard, they'll look good in the beginning of the match. Then he gets them back. Occasionally he'll hit some winners on them, and then they start missing a little bit, and the night you just see them fall apart because all they had is one plan playing him. It's like, oh, well, my strokes are better. I should just be able to hit through and play aggressive and win. You're playing right into their hands. This is what they love you to do. This is like their spider web that they build around you, and then you're like, help me, I want out of here. When's the match over, right? Don't do that, okay? So now let's go to a pusher. We know what the pusher does. The pusher dinks the ball around the court, right? And they're going to win a lot of matches doing that. And what ends up happening is you end up becoming a tweener because you're like, I refuse to push the ball around the court, but my confidence is gone, so I'm not fully confident to fully swing out there. So you end up tweening, and this is the worst possible place to be as a tennis player. It's when you're trying to hit the ball, but then you kind of hold back, and then your ball starts to stale. You start to hit the ball in the bottom of the net. Your body doesn't even feel like your body anymore. It's like an out-of-body exorcism experience that it's terrible, right? We've all been there. And so that's tweenerville. And you don't want to play in tweenerville too much. You might have to tween every now and then. I mean, it's almost impossible to avoid doing sometimes. So what do you need to do? And no coach is going to tell you to do this. You need to accept that just maybe, since you're rated 3.5 or a 4.0 or a 3.0, that is your actual rating and you haven't been robbed out of that rating, you're really not Roger Federer, that you probably don't have your strokes completely developed yet to where you can just hit through them for 2 out of 3 sets. You're going to have to accept, and maybe you're going to have to develop, okay? Here's one thing that I want you to understand. When Roger Federer hits a slice backhand, he's not hitting. He's hitting a one-hand topspin, and he's pushing a one-hand slice. So a push shot doesn't necessarily have to look ugly, right? Pushing a forehand chip, that's pushing. So you have to develop pushing skills, and you can do a lot with pushing skills. You can push a ball down the line. You can hit a little short ball off the court, right? You can lob, and then that's going to set up your hitting. So when you play a pusher, since you do have better strokes, you want to have a setup combination of pushing and hitting. And most people think about hitting first, almost never pushing, maybe finishing some points at the net. And I want you to think about the opposite of that. I want you to set up your points by pushing. One of the best, most obvious things you can do is most pushers don't have big serves. So like their first serve and their second serve, it's like they almost have 2-second serves. So you can really think about and execute at a high level once you get good at this technique, because it also can be developed much faster. You can develop a pushing technique much faster than a hitting technique that requires more moving parts and a lot more confidence and a lot more timing. So what I want you to do is think about, okay, here comes the second serve. If you don't do this in your next match, I will literally go nuts. When's the last time you played a pusher and go, I'm going to bring them to the net 100 times today? Have you ever played a pusher and say, I'm going to bring them to the net 100 times today? You probably have never thought like that, right? Because you're thinking, I'm going to get to the net. I'm going to finish the point. And how does that work for you? It plays right into their hands. That's what they're expecting to happen. They're not expecting you to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Pusher, let's see how much skill you have on offense. Let me hit this return. Let me draw you in forward like that. You see that shot? You see that shot I just hit? I don't know if you could see it on my body was in the way, but I hit it short and off the court. I wasn't aiming for a line. Now they're running into the doubles alley, and now they're thinking, I should probably come in on this ball, but I'm not very good at hitting big approach shots. So now they've got to decide, am I going to hit and come on in? Am I going to hit and retreat? And now you're starting to set up your own spider web on them, because now when they hit and they come in, they don't have very good volleys. Lots of times they don't finish points very well. That's their kryptonite, right? So you always want to set up their kryptonite. So what you want to do is hit lots of nice little short returns. I'm not talking about skillful drop shots. I'm just talking about a nice solid short push shot, a solid short push shot that challenges them to decide if they're going to come in or not. Then you've got choices. If they're coming in, now you can set up and you can be a hitter. You can hit a nice passing shot and win the point and look like a superstar. You can even just lob over their head. So now they're retreating back. Maybe you come behind that and you can then put an overhead away, or they don't even get to the ball, right? And you can just run plays like this all day long. What I want you to think about, if you're going to play and beat a pusher, is you've got to set up a combination of becoming a pusher and a hitter. Now you'll have one advantage over them. They're pretty much just a pusher. But if you can be a pusher and a hitter and not a tweener, you're going to win so many matches against pushers, and you're going to come back to this video and you're going to thank me. So think about bringing pushers in. Think about setting points up by pushing, right? Then you have all types of options. Then you can go and hit a winner if you want. You can push again. You can actually push them deep. There's so many different options once you start to play with this one concept and realize too that there's no ticking time bomb. Another great thing about playing a pusher is they're not suddenly going to end the point on you most of the time. So if you set something up and they handle it well, if they do a good job, counteracting your play that you set up, just start the point over again and run the play again. Don't try and end each point within 3 or 4 shots because you don't want to be out there in a match with a pusher. Remember, even if you do well and play a great match, you're still probably going to lose 40 to 45% of the points. So you have to also get used to and give respect and realize that even if you execute what I'm telling you well today, you're still probably going to lose 40 to 45% of the points. You're not just going to win the match 0-0 and barely lose points. Again, there's a reason why you're playing that player. There's something about them that's rated the same as you. So you've got to respect them as well. Even though I have this shirt, I hate pushers, it's more of a joke, but I think you can appreciate it. Anyway, if you do appreciate this video, make sure to give this video a like. And if you want to get better at tennis, you should probably subscribe to this channel because that's all we talk about is how to get better at tennis. And I'll see you guys on the next video.